Hello everyone, Paleo Nerd, back with a new natural history video. Today I'll be covering the rest of the confirmed Dromaeosaurids, which all fall within the clade Eudromaeosauria. If you somehow haven't seen the first part of this video, please do so, as that's where I cover the more basal Dromaeosaurids. As I go through this group, please keep in mind that what I list here will most definitely change in the future, and since I can't see into the future, everything I say in this video will be based on what is currently known at the time I'm making this video. Eudromaeosauria, or true swift runner lizards, is a subgroup within the family of Dromaeosauridae, which includes the most derived Dromaeosaurids. This clade includes three main subfamilies: Saurornitholestinae, Dromaeosaurinae, and Velociraptorinae, and typically ranges from 130 to 66 million years ago, from the Boramian to the Maastrichtian of the late Cretaceous. Some possible Dromaeosaurs have dated to even earlier in the Cretaceous, and teeth occasionally attributed to Dromaeosaurs have been dated to the Cambrian of the late Jurassic, although their status as Dromaeosaurs has yet to be confirmed. Regardless, Eudromaeosaurs are all known from the Northern Hemisphere, especially in North America and Asia, as well as possibly Europe. Saurornitholestinae, or lizard bird thieves, is the most basal subfamily of Eudromaeosauria, and includes all Dromaeosaurids more closely related to Saurornitholestes than to Dromaeosaurus or Velociraptor. All known members are small to medium-sized Dromaeosaurs, which are mostly distinguished from other groups by longer legs and a lighter build than Dromaeosaurines and Velociraptorines. All known Saurornitholestines are found in western North America and date between 77 to 68 million years ago, from the Campanian to the early Maastrichtian of the late Cretaceous. However, some remains which may belong to this group have been dated to the late Jurassic, as well as the KPG boundary about 66 million years ago. This subfamily is relatively recent, having been established only about 10 years ago in 2009. Despite this, some studies have suggested that Saurornitholestinae may not be a proper group, instead placing its members in Dromaeosaurinae or even Velociraptorinae. However, for now, I will be considered Saurornitholestinae its own subfamily. The earliest named genus in Saurornitholestinae, and a namesake of the group, is Saurornitholestes, or lizard bird thief. This genus has two distinct species, the first of which is the type species Saurornitholestes langstoni, or Langston's lizard bird thief, which honors Juan Langston Jr., a Texan paleontologist who worked in Alberta during the 1950s. It was described in 1978 by Hans-Dieter Suess, based on remains found in 1974 by Canadian paleontologist Irene van der Loo. Saurornitholestes is believed to be a small to mid-sized dromaeosaur, with most estimates putting it at about 2 meters or 6 feet long, 0.6 meters or 2 feet tall at the shoulder, and 10 kilograms or 22 pounds. Langstoni is an interesting species, as it is so far the only known non-avian dinosaur found on both sides of the western interior seaway, as fossils belonging to the animal have been found in both Laramidia and Appalachia. In Laramidia, it is known from the Dinosaur Park Formation in Alberta, Canada, as well as the overlying Oldman Formation, while in Appalachia it is found in the Donoho Creek and Coachman Formations in South Carolina, all of which date to the Campanian of the late Cretaceous, about 77 to 73 million years ago. In every formation it is found in, Saurornitholestes langstoni was the most common small theropod found there, and while the Laramidian formations show that it coexisted with a wide variety of ceratopsians, hadrosaurs, ankylosaurs, and other theropods, In the Appalachian formations, Saurornitholestes is often the only named dinosaur found there. Saurornitholestes' exact diet is unknown, but based on the wear of its teeth, it likely ate larger predators than the troodontids it coexisted with. And one study suggests that Saurornitholestes, along with Dromaeosaurus, may have included bone in their diet and were better adapted to handle the stress associated with struggling prey than troodons. This suggests that Saurornitholestes likely preyed on animals only slightly smaller than it was, possibly juveniles of other dinosaurs. The classification of Saurornitholestes has changed a little bit since it was discovered in the 1970s, having been previously considered a Dromaeosaurine or Velociraptorine. However, a recent discovery of a near-complete skeleton has seemed to support the idea that it belongs in its own group. The second species, Saurornitholestes sullivani, or Sullivan's lizard bird thief, was described very recently in 2015 by Stephen Jasinski, as prior to that it was believed to belong to S. langstoni. The specific name honors Robert Sullivan, who discovered it in 1999 and assigned it to S. langstoni before it would be described as its own species. It is currently known only from a frontal bone found in the Deinonychus member of the Kirtland Formation, which dates to the Campanian, about 74 to 73 million years ago. Although it is known from fragmentary remains, it is believed to be about the same size as Saurornitholestes langstoni, but the characteristics of the frontal are considered different enough to be classified as a distinct species. The frontal also suggests that Sullivani had an unusually large olfactory lobe, suggesting it had a powerful sense of smell. It also coexisted with a variety of different animals, including hadrosaurs like Critosaurus, Nashoibetosaurus, and Parasaurolophus, the ceratopsian Pentaceratops, pachycephalosaurs like Spirotholus, the Ankylosaurs Zyapelta and Notocephalosaurus, the Tyrannosaurid Utahraptor, and an unnamed troodontid and ornithomimid, as well as crocodilians like Brachycampsa. Like langstoni, Sullivani likely preyed on smaller dinosaurs as well as the juveniles of larger ones, although it would have also fallen prey to larger predators like Utahraptor. The next genus in this group lived about the same time as Saurornitholestes in the Two Medicine Formation in Montana, about 77 to 74 million years ago. This is Bambiraptor feinbergi, or the Feinberg's Bambi thief, which honors the Feinberg family that purchased the holotype and loaned it to the New Graves Museum of Natural History in Florida for research, and it is also named after Bambi. Yeah, Bambi the deer. This seemingly odd name for a dromaeosaurid was chosen due to the young age and small size of the specimen, and to be fair, this is far from the only time paleontologists have had a bit of fun when naming new species. The holotype, a skeleton that was about 95% complete, was discovered in 1993 by the 14-year-old Wes Linster, who was fossil hunting with his parents. The skeleton was originally believed to belong to a juvenile Saurornitholestes and even a species of Velociraptor before being officially described as a new species in 2000 by David Burnham, along with famous paleontologists Phil Currie, Robert Backer, and John Ostrom. Ostrom in particular was a huge fan of this specimen, believing it would help people understand the link between birds and dinosaurs that he had pointed out in Deinonychus back in the 1960s. Adult specimens have been found, but only the juvenile specimen has been officially described. The juvenile is estimated to measure at a length of 1 meter or 3 feet long and a weight of about 2 kilograms or 4.5 pounds, while adults are believed to reach a length of 1.3 meters or 4.3 feet long and a weight of 5 kilograms or 11 pounds. This would make it the smallest known Eudromaeosaur, although some suggest that Bambiraptor is merely a juvenile Saurornitholestes, as fossils occasionally assigned to Saurornitholestes have been found in the Two Medicine Formation. However, for the time being, I'll be considering Bambiraptor a distinct genus, since adult specimens have supposedly been found in many cladistic analyses place it as a distinct genus. Bambiraptor is known from Units 4 and 5 of the Two Medicine Formation, alongside Troodon, Eudromaeosauria, Hypacrosaurus, Procerolophus, Scolosaurus, and Daspletosaurus. Like Saurornitholestes, Bambiraptor has shifted in regards to classification in many cladistic analyses, having been recovered into not only Saurornitholestinae, but also Velociraptorinae and even Microraptoria, although current analyses suggest a place in Saurornitholestinae. The third and final member of Saurornitholestinae is also the one that's the least well known. Atrociraptor marshalli, or Marshall's savage thief, honors Wayne Marshall, who discovered the holotype specimen in 1995. The holotype, which consists of a partial skull, would be described 9 years later in 2004 by Phil Curry and David Verricchio, who originally assigned it to Velociraptorinae until Curry placed it in Saurornitholestinae in a cladistic analysis in 2009. It is known from the Upper Horseshoe Canyon Formation in Alberta, Canada, specifically Unit 4, which dates to the early Maastrichtian of the late Cretaceous, about 68.5 million years ago. As such, it lived alongside Albertonychus, Hypacrosaurus, Saurolophus, Albertosaurus, Anodontosaurus, Ornithomimus, and Dromaeosaurus. Despite only being known from a partial skull and some teeth, Atrociraptor is estimated to reach a length of 2 meters or 6.5 feet long and a weight of 15 kilograms or 33 pounds, which, if correct, would make it the largest known Saurornitholestine. The skull of Atrociraptor is especially unique compared to other dromaeosaurids, being unusually short and tall. Additionally, the maxillary fenestra is relatively large and located above the promaxillary fenestra, a feature not known from other dromaeosaurs. Its teeth are also quite unique, possessing unusually large serrations. Beyond this, not much is known about this animal, and while it likely filled a similar niche to other Saurornitholestines, the heavier build of the head suggests that it may have preyed on larger animals than other dromaeosaurids its size. The next two subfamilies within Eudromaeosauria, Dromaeosaurinae and Velociraptorinae, are sister groups. First, I will go through Dromaeosaurinae, or swift runner lizards. This subfamily includes all dromaeosaurids more closely related to Dromaeosaurus than to Velociraptor or Saurornitholestes. All confirmed members are from North America or Asia, although some teeth remains that may belong to this group have been found in Europe and Africa. The group has a known temporal range of 130 to 66 million years ago, from the Barremian of the early Cretaceous to the Maastrichtian of the late Cretaceous, although some fossils suggest that the group may have appeared as far back as the Cameroonian of the late Jurassic, about 155 million years ago. Dromaeosaurines are best distinguished from other dromaeosaurids by their wider box-shaped skulls, heavier build, and the serrations on their teeth. While this subfamily can be divided into two unofficial tribes, Utahraptorini and Dromaeosaurini, not all Dromaeosaurines fit within those groups, so I'll be covering the Dromaeosaurines outside those groups first. Yurgovuchia doelingi, or Doeling's coyote, honors the geologist Helmut Doeling for his 50-plus years of research and mapping of Utah for the Utah Geological Survey, which resulted in the discovery of the Doeling's Bowl dinosaur sites where Yurgovuchia can be found. The generic name is derived from the Ute word Yurgovuch, which means coyote, and honors the Ute people of Utah and Colorado. Coyote was specifically chosen due to the animal being of similar size, at an estimated length of 2.5 meters or over 8 feet long, a height of less than a meter or over 2 feet tall at the shoulder, and a weight of around 35 kilograms or 77 pounds. The holotype, which consists of cervical, dorsal, and caudal vertebrae and part of the pubis, was first found in 2005 in the Doeling's Bowl dinosaur bed within the yellow-capped member of the Cedar Mountain Formation, which dates to the Barremian of the early Cretaceous, about 130 to 125 million years ago. The animal would be named and described in 2012 by a team led by Phil Center, who classified it as a Dromaeosaurine closely related to Achillobator and Utahraptor. Despite being among the earliest known Dromaeosaurids, Yurgovuchia is considered among the more derived to the group, although its exact placement within Dromaeosaurinae is unknown. The yellow-capped member it is known from has many different types of dinosaur, including the famous and giant Utahraptor, as well as many sauropods and iguanodonts. Yurgovuchia likely filled a niche similar to its namesake, the coyote, preying primarily on small vertebrates like birds, lizards, turtles, fish, and even small crocodilomorphs and sharks, as well as the young of other dinosaurs. It also coexisted with the troodontid Geminiraptor and two unnamed Dromaeosaurs, a Velociraptorine and an indeterminate Eudromaeosaur, and the four likely preyed on different animals to avoid competition. Not much else is known about Yurgovuchia, and I will elaborate more on the yellow-cap fauna when I get to Utahraptor. Next up is one of the more recognizable Dromaeosaurids, and one of the biggest dinosaur discoveries of the 20th century. Deinonychus anteropus, or terrible claw with counterbalancing, refers to the giant sickle claw, which has become a common characteristic of Dromaeosaurids, as well as its long, stiff tail, which was believed to serve as a counterbalance. The first remains, now assigned to Deinonychus, were found in Montana in 1931 under the name Doptosaurus agilis, but the animal would not be formally described until 1969 by John Ostrom, and his studies of Deinonychus ultimately led to the dinosaur renaissance, which revolutionized the way scientists saw dinosaurs, from being slow, lumbering lizards that were evolutionary dead ends, to active and agile creatures that were also the ancestors of modern birds. Deinonychus is quite large compared to most other dromaeosaurids, although nowhere near the largest, at an estimated length of 3.5 meters or over 11 feet long, a height of almost a meter or 2.8 feet tall at the shoulder, and a weight of 73 to 100 kilograms or 160 to 220 pounds. It is known from the mid-Aptian to the early Albian of the early Cretaceous, about 115 to 108 million years ago, and has been found mostly in the Cloverleaf Formation in Montana and Wyoming, as well as the Antlers Formation in Oklahoma, while possible remains have been found in the Arundel Formation in Maryland and the Ruby Ranch member of the Cedar Mountain Formation in Utah. It coexisted with many large dinosaurs, mainly Acrocanthosaurus, Tenontosaurus, Sauroposeidon, and Sauropelta, and it likely ate smaller dinosaurs like Aquilops, Zephyrosaurus, and Microvenador, as well as mammals and reptiles. It has occasionally been classified as a Velociraptorine and was even proposed to be a species of Velociraptor once, but it is now considered the most basal member of Dromaeosaurinae. Deinonychus remains to this day one of the best-known Dromaeosaurids, and its contributions to our current understanding of dinosaurs cannot be denied. Unfortunately, they can't all be as complete and well known as Deinonychus, as is the case for Itemirus medullaris, or medulla from Itamar. The generic name refers to the village of Itamar in Uzbekistan where it was found, while the specific name refers to the medulla oblongata, the brain part encased by the partial brain case, which is the holotype specimen. The holotype was first found in 1958 before being described in 1976 by Sergei Kurzhanov. The fossil is known from the Bisecti Formation, which dates to the Turonian of the late Cretaceous about 92 to 90 million years ago. The formation is mostly aquatic, but other dinosaurs found there include the Tyrannosauroid Timorlangia, the Ceratopsian Tyrannoceratops, the Hadrosaur levnisovia, the Ankylosaur bisectipelta, the Oviraptorosaur Sainagnathasia, and some troodontids based on teeth. When it was first described, Kurzhanov noted similarities to both Tyrannosauridae and Dromaeosauridae, and assigned Itemirus to its own family called Itemiridae. In 2004, Thomas Holtz suggested that it was a Tyrannosaurid, while a cladistic analysis in 2009 found Itemirus to be a Dromaeosaurid, specifically a Velociraptorine. However, more remains were assigned to Itemirus in 2014, and a new study found Itemirus to be placed in Dromaeosaurinae, although its exact placement is unknown. However, the genus is still known from very fragmentary remains, so it is difficult to estimate the size of the animal, although some specimens suggest it was around the size of Deinonychus. Now we're on to the two unofficial tribes of Dromaeosaurinae. The first one is Utahraptorini, or Utah thieves, which currently includes two genera, one from North America and one from Asia. This group includes the largest known Dromaeosaurids, and is distinguished mostly by their large sizes and more robust builds than other Dromaeosaurines, which would place them quite high on the food chain in their ecosystems. Current members of the group range from 130 to 85 million years ago, from the Boramian of the early Cretaceous to the Santonian of the late Cretaceous. The namesake of this tribe is also one of the earliest known Dromaeosaurids chronologically. Utahraptor ostromesi, or Ostrom and Mays Utah thief, refers to its discovery in Utah and honors John Ostrom, who first proposed a close relationship between Dromaeosaurids and birds, and Chris Mays, who helped in researching the animal. The first specimens belonging to Utahraptor were found all the way back in 1975, but they didn't receive much attention until more remains were found in 1991, which were then described by James Kirkland, Robert Gaston, and Donald Burge in June of 1993. As stated before, Utahraptor was a very large animal, with the largest known specimen placing the genus at a length of 7 meters or 23 feet long, a height of 2 meters or 6.5 feet tall at the shoulder, and a weight of 500 kilograms or 1,100 pounds. This makes it the largest known Dromaeosaurid, although some specimens suggest that this animal could have grown even larger, possibly even weighing up to 1 US ton. Despite being among the earliest of the Dromaeosaurids chronologically, it is considered one of the more derived Dromaeosaurs, often considered closely related to much younger genera like Dromaeosaurus and Achillobator. Utahraptor is currently known from the yellow-cap member of the Cedar Mountain Formation, although some remains which may belong to Utahraptor have also been found in the poison strip sandstone of the same formation. This puts its temporal range between 130 to 125 million years ago, during the Boramian of the early Cretaceous. Utahraptor is the largest known theropod from the yellowcat and poison strip members, meaning it was likely the top predator, and since recent studies have found that it was very heavily built, It was likely adapted for hunting much larger prey than itself. This would have included iguanodonts like Iguana colossus, Hippodraco, Cedrorestes, Planocoxa, and an unnamed sailback iguanodont, as well as sauropods like Cedarosaurus, Mierosaurus, Moabosaurus, and Venenosaurus. It also coexisted with other theropods like the Therizinosaurs, Valkyrius and Martharaptor, the Troodonta Gemini raptor, the Ornithomimosaur Ned Colbertia, and fellow dromaeosaurs like Yurgovuchia and some unnamed taxa. The second and final known member of this tribe doesn't have as much known about it. In fact, we're not even entirely sure when exactly it lived. Achillobator giganticus, or giant Achilles hero, refers to its massive size and the huge Achilles tendon needed to operate its giant sickle claw. It is known only from the holotype, a partial skeleton, which was found during a Mongolian and Russian-led expedition to the Dornogovi province of Mongolia in 1989 and was described a decade later in 1999. The holotype specimen is estimated at a length of 5 to 6 meters or 16 to 20 feet long, a height of 1.5 to 2 meters or 5 to 6.5 feet tall at the shoulders, and a weight of 300 to 350 kilograms or 660 to 770 pounds. This makes it the second largest dromaeosaurid currently known in the fossil record, and with a similar build to that of Utahraptor, it is incredibly likely that the two are closely related. The Bayan Shira formation that Achillobator was found in has been very inconsistent in its dating, with reports on the dating ranging anywhere from the Cenomanian to the Santonian of the late Cretaceous, anywhere between 99 to 83 million years ago. The herbivores of this formation include the Therizinosaurs, Enigmasaurus, Erlikosaurus, and Segnosaurus, the Hadrosaurogobihadros, Ankylosaurs like Taylorurus and Sagontegia, basal ceratopsians like Graciloceratops and Microceratус, the Ornithomimosaur Garudaminus, the Pachycephalosaur Amptocephalae, and titanosaurs like Urketu in a currently unnamed genus. Achillobator also coexisted with an unnamed Velociraptorine and an unnamed Tyrannosauroid, possibly related to Electrosaurus. Given its size, Achillobator may very well have been at the top of the food chain, being much more heavily built than the Tyrannosaur, and as such it likely preyed on similar prey to Utahraptor, like hadrosaurs and juvenile sauropods, while the Tyrannosaur would hunt smaller and faster prey like Ornithomimosaurs and basal ceratopsians. Interestingly enough, the pelvis of Achillobator shows many characteristics of more basal saurischians, such as the position of the pubis, which led some paleontologists to suggest that the Achillobator specimen is a paleontological chimera. However, this isn't widely accepted, and Achillobator routinely comes out as a dromaeosaurid in cladistic analyses, regardless of the differences. The next and final tribe of Dromaeosaurinae is Dromaeosaurini, or swift-running lizards, which includes all Dromaeosaurines more closely related to Dromaeosaurus. This tribe consists of two genera, both known from late Cretaceous North America, and range from about 76 to 66 million years ago. The two known members differ in size, with one being pretty small while the other one is among the largest of all dromaeosaurids. First in this tribe is the namesake of the entire group of Dromaeosauridae, Dromaeosaurus albertensis, or swift-running lizard from Alberta, which refers to its proposed high running speed and its discovery in Alberta. The first remains of this animal were found in 1914 by Barnum Brown and consisted of a nearly complete skull, two hyoids, a metacarpal, and some foot bones. The animal was described in 1922 by Brown and fellow paleontologist William Diller Matthew, and since then more remains have consisted of skull fragments and isolated teeth. Other species have also been named for the genus, but these all ended up belonging to other genera or are nomen dubium, so albertensis remains the sole valid species. Dromaeosaurus is mostly known from the Dinosaur Park Formation in Alberta, Canada, as well as the Judith River Formation in Montana, which both date to the Campanian, about 76.5 to 74.8 million years ago. Although teeth occasionally assigned to Dromaeosaurus have been found in Maastrichtian age formations like Hell Creek and Prince Creek, it is unlikely that these remains actually belong to Dromaeosaurus, and they likely belong to other Dromaeosaurids. Dromaeosaurus can be distinguished from other Dromaeosaurs by its short, massive skull and robust teeth, which were more heavily worn than its contemporary Saurornitholestes, suggesting that Dromaeosaurus was using its jaws to crush and tear rather than simply slicing through flesh. Dromaeosaurus's bite has been estimated to be over 3 times stronger than that of Velociraptor, and thus it likely relied more on its jaws than its cycloclaw to kill prey. As such, it likely hunted prey similar in size to itself, mainly pachycephalosaurs and the juveniles of larger dinosaurs. This may have put it in competition with juvenile tyrannosaurs like Gorgosaurus and Daspletosaurus. Despite being the namesake of the entire family of Dromaeosauridae, Dromaeosaurus is known from very fragmentary fossils, and depictions of it are based mostly on other more complete Dromaeosaurids. The final member of Dromaeosaurinae I will cover today became a bit controversial in terms of its placement in Dromaeosauridae. Dakotaraptor or Stein's Dakota thief, refers to South Dakota where it was found and honors paleontologist Walter Stein. The partial skeleton, which serves as the holotype, was found in a multi-species bone bed in 2005, but the remains were not described until 2015 by a team led by Robert Del Palma. Estimates based on the partial skeleton placed the animal at a length of 5.5 meters or 18 feet long, a height of 2 meters or 6.5 feet tall at the shoulder, and a weight of around 250 kilograms or 550 pounds, currently making it the third largest known dromaeosaurid behind Utahraptor and Achillobator. However, Dakotaraptor lacks the robust build of Utahraptor and Achillobator and more closely resembles smaller dromaeosaurines like Deinonychus and Dromaeosaurus, with the original description placing it as the sister taxon of Dromaeosaurus. However, this assertion has proved problematic, as in 2016 it was revealed that the supposed wishbone from the holotype was actually part of a turtle's shell. Thus, the holotype was dubbed a chimera, and many other paleontologists have claimed that much more of the holotype belongs to other animals, including the Ornithomimosaur Anzu and even Tyrannosaurus. However, it is likely that at least part of the holotype still belongs to a giant dromaeosaurid, so I'm still considering Dakotaraptor a valid genus. Due to the complications surrounding the holotype, Dakotaraptor has proved to be much less secure in its taxonomic placement than originally thought, and one paper famously placed Dakotaraptor in the family Unionlaginae, which I covered in part 1. However, this is only in one paper, and the only thing it proved was that Dakotaraptor's placement in Dromaeosauridae is unstable, not that Dakotaraptor is 100% a Unionlaginae. For now, I will be sticking with Dakotaraptor as the sister taxon to Dromaeosaurus unless it can be confidently proved otherwise, but be aware that Dakotaraptor could really be put anywhere in Dromaeosaurinae. Dakotaraptor is known from the famous Hell Creek Formation, and as such lived alongside iconic dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, Edmontosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus, Thescelosaurus, Achillobator, and much more. Dakotaraptor likely preyed on mid-sized herbivores similar in size to itself, like Thescelosaurus and Pachycephalosaurus, as well as the juveniles of larger herbivores like Edmontosaurus and Triceratops, and may very well have competed with juvenile Tyrannosaurus while falling prey to the adults. Now we have the third and final subfamily of Eudromaeosauria. Velociraptorinae, or swift thieves, includes all dromaeosaurs more closely related to Velociraptor than to Dromaeosaurus or Saurornitholestes. This group is primarily known from Asia, specifically China and Mongolia, although some members are known from North America and possible remains have been found in Europe. Known Velociraptorines range from the Campanian to the Maastrichtian of the late Cretaceous, while possible members are known from the early Cretaceous and even the late Jurassic, possibly extending this group's range from 155 to 66 million years ago. Velociraptorines are typically small to medium-sized dromaeosaurids, but some possible giant velociraptorines have been found in Europe, and they are typically distinguished from other subfamilies by their light build, thinner skulls, and smaller teeth. Velociraptorinae can be divided into three unofficial tribes, the most basal of which is Adasaurini, or demon lizards. This tribe only has two genera, one from Mongolia and one from China, and although they are poorly known, they share very similar features. Both members of this group lived during the Maastrichtian of the late Cretaceous, about 72 to 66 million years ago. The Luanchuanraptor hainanensis, which translates to Luanchuan thief from Hainan, refers to the Luanchuan County in the Hainan province of China where it was found. This was a mid-sized dromaeosaurid at about 2 to 3 meters or 6.5 to 10 feet long, and it is known from a partial skeleton which was described in 2007 by Liu et al. It is known from the Qiupa Formation in central China, which is believed to date to the Maastrichtian, between 72 to 66 million years ago. It likely preyed on smaller dinosaurs like Qiupanicus and Yulong, as well as mammals and lizards, and it also coexisted with the Ornithomimosaur Qiupalong and an unnamed Tyrannosaur. Probably the most significant thing about this animal is that it is the first Asian dromaeosaur to be found outside Mongolia or northeastern China. The exact placement of Luanchuanraptor within Dromaeosauridae has been difficult to determine, but recent studies suggest a close relationship between it and Adasaurus, which is commonly considered a velociraptorine. Speaking of which, Adasaurus mongoliensis, or Mongolian demon lizard, refers to Ada, a demon in Mongolian mythology, and Mongolia where it was found. It was named and described in 1983 by Mongolian paleontologist Rinchen Barsbold based on two partial skeletons. Based on these remains, Adasaurus has been estimated to reach a length of 1.8 meters or 6 feet long and a weight of 10 to 22 kilograms or 20 to 50 pounds. Adasaurus is known from the Nemegt Formation in the Gobi Desert in southern Mongolia, which likely dates to the Maastrichtian of the late Cretaceous, about 70 to 68 million years ago. As such, its contemporaries include Tarbosaurus, Therizinosaurus, Deinonychus, Zoolophus, Alioramus, and smaller dinosaurs like Oncerimimus, Xanabazar, Mononychus, and Prenocephaly. Adasaurus likely preyed primarily on small vertebrates like turtles and mammals, as well as the eggs and young of larger dinosaurs. The exact relationships of Adasaurus has been difficult to determine, and traditionally it was thought to be a dromaeosaurine, but recently has been suggested to be a basal velociraptorine. Similarities in the pelvis to that of Luanchuanraptor has even suggested that the two genera may be sister taxon. Adasaurus is also unique among velociraptorines in that it has been found to possess a smaller sickle claw than others of similar size, suggesting that it didn't hunt prey much larger than itself. The next unofficial tribe, Velociraptorini, or swift thieves, consists of velociraptorines from China and Mongolia, which are more closely related to Velociraptor than to Adasaurus. They are known from Campanian-aged formations, typically ranging from 75 to 71 million years ago, and are best distinguished by their long and low skulls with upturned snouts. Linheraptor exquisitus, or exquisite line thief, refers to the Line district where it was found and the well-preserved nature of the holotype. This holotype is a nearly complete skeleton that was found in Inner Mongolia in northern China in 2008 and was described as a new genus in 2010 by a team led by Zhu Zhang. Based on the nearly complete skeleton, it is estimated to reach a length of 1.8 meters or 6 feet long and a weight of about 25 kilograms or 55 pounds. It is known from the Wuliang Suhai Formation, which is dated to the Campanian of the late Cretaceous, about 75 to 71 million years ago, which is similar in both composition and dating to the Yurgovuchia Formation in Mongolia. As such, Linheraptor likely lived in an arid and desert-like environment. It also coexisted with other theropods like Linhevenator, Deinonychus, Velociraptor, and Wulatelong. The only herbivorous dinosaurs from the formation are an unnamed ceratopsian similar to Protoceratops and an unnamed ankylosaur. Linheraptor likely preyed on other dinosaurs similar in size to itself, like small ceratopsians and alvarezsaurs, and its enlarged sickle claw proves it was capable of tackling such prey. Thanks to the nature of the holotype, Linheraptor can be confidently placed as being closely related to Velociraptor, and it is often considered the sister taxon of Tsaagan, as they share many features intermediate between basal and derived dromaeosaurids. I will talk more about the relationship between the two when I talk about Tsaagan, which would be now. Tsaagan mangas, or white monster, allegedly refers to a Mongolian driver named Timur who had attempted to scare off the expedition crew by covering himself with a white sheet and pretending to be a ghost. However, the generic name is actually a misspelling of the actual Mongolian word for white, Tsaagan. Tsaagan is known from a skull, vertebrae, and a shoulder girdle discovered in Mongolia in 1996, and it was originally identified as belonging to Velociraptor until a CAT scan in May of 1998 concluded it was a new genus, and it was finally named and described as a new genus in December of 2006 by a team led by Mark Norell. Based on the holotype, Tsaagan is estimated to reach a length of 2 meters or 6.5 feet long and a weight of 15 kilograms or 33 pounds. The holotype was found in the Ukha-Tolgod region of the Yurgovuchia Formation, which dates from 75 to 71 million years ago during the Campanian of the late Cretaceous. As such, it coexisted with Velociraptor, Protoceratops, Pinacosaurus, Shibuya, Brontosaurus, Cetipodi, and others. Tsaagan likely preyed on small vertebrates, mainly mammals like Saurornitholestes and Cryptobator, although being known only from the head and neck means it's difficult to determine how it may have been able to coexist with Velociraptor without competing for food. In 2010, a cladistic analysis showed that Tsaagan was most closely related to fellow Velociraptorine Linheraptor, and papers in 2011 and 2012 suggested that the two may be synonyms, and as such, Tsaagan would take priority. Another analysis in 2015 rejected this notion, and most studies continued to list the two as distinct genera, so that's where I stand for now. Next is probably the most famous dromaeosaur in pop culture, Velociraptor. This genus actually has two species, with the most popular and well-known of the two being Velociraptor mongoliensis, or swift thief from Mongolia, which refers to its discovery in Mongolia and its cursorial nature, meaning it was well built for running. The first known fossils of the animal, a crushed but complete skull and one of the sickle claws, was found on August 11, 1923, during an American Museum of Natural History expedition to the Gobi Desert by Peter Kaizen, and was described by Henry F. Osborn in 1924. This species is known from a wide variety of specimens, like the iconic fighting dinosaurs fossil, giving paleontologists a good idea of the animal's size and appearance. Unlike in its portrayal in Jurassic Park, Velociraptor was quite a small animal, at a length of 2 meters or 6.8 feet long, a height of half a meter or 1.6 feet tall at the shoulder, and a weight of 15 to 20 kilograms or 33 to 43 pounds, making it roughly the size of a large turkey.
That doesn't look very scary.
Velociraptor mongoliensis is known from the Yurgovuchia Formation in Mongolia, specifically the Bayanzak, Tugrigan Shera, and Ukha-Tolgod beds of the formation, which date from 75 to 71 million years ago, during the Campanian of the late Cretaceous. As such, it coexisted with other dromaeosaurids like Tsaagan, Mahakala, and Hauschoraptor, troodontids like Almas, Byronosaurus, and Saurornitholestes, oviraptorids like Pseudopodi, Oviraptor, and Khan, alvarezsaurs like Kull and Shavuya, the ornithomimid Apiornithomimus, the ankylosaur Pinacosaurus, and the ceratopsian Protoceratops. While it may have preyed on smaller vertebrates like lizards and mammals, fossil evidence suggests that Protoceratops may have been one of Velociraptor's primary prey items. A study comparing the sclerotic ring of Velociraptor to that of Protoceratops suggests that Velociraptor was primarily nocturnal, in contrast to Protoceratops, which was cathemeral, active throughout the day and night in short intervals. Since Velociraptor lived in an arid desert environment, this may have evolved to help it conserve water, as is the case with many modern-day desert species, as well as to prey on species that are normally diurnal, and maybe even to avoid larger predators that are more active during the day. One such predator could have been an as-of-yet unnamed tyrannosaur that has been found in Yurgovuchia, which may be closely related to either Tarbosaurus or Zhucheng tyrannus. Velociraptor also has a lesser-known second species, Velociraptor osmolskae, or Osmolska's swift thief, in honor of Holska Osmolska, a Polish paleontologist who worked extensively with Mongolian dinosaurs, primarily oviraptorids. It is known only from the holotype, a maxillae lacrimal, which was found in 1999 by a joint Sino-Belgian expedition in Inner Mongolia. The remains were originally assigned to the type species V. mongoliensis, but was described as a new species in 2008 by Pascal Godefroy et al. Due to the fragmentary nature of the holotype, its exact size is unknown, but it was likely similar in size to Mongoliensis. Osmolskae is known from the Bayan-Mandahu Formation in northern China, which is similar in date to the Yurgovuchia Formation, dating to about 75 to 71 million years ago. Bayan-Mandahu also has similar fauna and even some of the same genera, as along with Velociraptor, Bayan-Mandahu has Saurornitholestes and its own species of Protoceratops and Pinacosaurus. Other dinosaurs unique to this formation include the basal ceratopsian Magnerostris and the oviraptorid Machairosaurus, as well as undescribed remains belonging to ceratopsians and oviraptorids. While Osmolske is usually placed as a species of Velociraptor, some studies suggest that it may not belong in the Velociraptor genus. However, most recent cladistic analyses keep it within the genus Velociraptor, so that's where I stand for now. The next and final group in this video is the unofficial tribe Achillobator, or underworld thieves, which currently consists of two North American Velociraptorines which lived in the late Cretaceous, although some possible Velociraptorines have been found in early Cretaceous formations in North America, and as such may belong in this group. Currently, members of this group are known from Canada and the northern United States, and range from the late Campanian to the end of the Maastrichtian of the late Cretaceous, about 73 to 66 million years ago. Boreonykus surtacorum, or surtax's northern claw, refers to the boreal forest where the type specimen was found and honors surtac heating solutions, which provided financial support for the excavations. The first remains now thought to belong to this animal were found in the 80s at the Pipestone Creek site in Alberta, Canada, and were thought to belong to a species of Saurornitholestes. It was finally identified as a new genus when the holotype, a right frontal bone, was described by Phil Bell and Phil Curry in 2015. Other fossils have also been found, like 14 loose teeth, a caudal vertebra, a finger claw, and a sickle claw. Based on these remains, Boreonykus was pretty small, at a length of 2 meters or 6.5 feet long, a height of half a meter or 1.6 feet tall, and a weight of around 30 kilograms or 66 pounds. The Pipestone Creek bone bed it is known from lies within the Wapiti Formation, which dates to the late Campanian, about 73 million years ago. There it coexisted with Pachyrhinosaurus lacustai, Edmontosaurus regalis, and indeterminate troodontids and tyrannosaurids. Like other velociraptorines, Boreonykus likely preyed primarily on small vertebrates like lizards, mammals, and fish, along with the occasional baby dinosaur. While it has moved slightly in terms of its placement in Dromaeosauridae, most studies place it as a Velociraptorine. Last, but most certainly not least, Acheroraptor temertiorum, or the Temertes underworld thief, refers to the Hell Creek Formation where it was found, and honors James and Louise Temerty, who supported the Royal Ontario Museum where the holotype is kept. The holotype, which consists of a complete right maxilla, was collected from Montana on August 28th of 2009 by commercial fossil hunters, who also found and collected a dentary several years later. The two specimens were subsequently purchased by the Royal Ontario Museum in Canada, where it was described by David Evans, Derek Larson, and Phil Curry in 2013. Although originally his placement in Dromaeosauridae was difficult to pinpoint, Evans and his colleagues were able to place Acheroraptor as a basal velociraptorine, thus making it the first velociraptorine to be described from North America. It has been estimated to reach a length of 3 meters or 9.8 feet long, a height of about 1 meter or 3 feet tall at the shoulder, and a weight of 4 kilograms or 88 pounds, which, if accurate, would make it the largest known velociraptorine. It is known from the Hell Creek Formation in Montana and North and South Dakota, which dates to the late Maastrichtian of the late Cretaceous, about 68 to 66 million years ago. This meant it coexisted with iconic dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, Edmontosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus, Thescelosaurus, Dakotaraptor, Anzu, and an unnamed ornithomimid. In this environment, Acheroraptor likely filled a niche similar to that of foxes, preying primarily on smaller animals while occasionally hunting down similarly sized prey. It also would have served as prey to larger predators like Dakotaraptor and Tyrannosaurus. Finally, while this can't be confirmed based on what we have, Some isolated teeth found throughout Hell Creek, which have been traditionally assigned to Dromaeosaurus, may very well belong to Acheroraptor. And while some studies place Acheroraptor and Dromaeosaurinae, the majority of cladistic analyses place Acheroraptor as being more closely related to Velociraptorines. That wraps up the confirmed Dromaeosaurids. Up next will be the series-wide analysis / retrospective of Jurassic Fight Club, and after that will be the natural history of Tyrannosauroidea Part 3, followed by the Rugops Creature Profile. That's all for today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and this is PaleoNerd signing out.